Hi, very good morning. I'm Dr. Janak Patel. I'm a general physician. Today we'll be talking on a very short topic we call erythropoietin. So you know very well erythropoietin is one of the hormone secreted by juxtaglomerular apparatus and it stimulates erythropoiesis. So we'll be talking on little aspect of that may be useful to you. So erythropoietin is a polypeptide hormone which regulates erythropoiesis and it is containing glycoprotein which is around 165 amino acid. So it is consisting of 165 amino acid chain. It is secreted by juxtaglomerular apparatus and from afferent arterioles. In infants, erythropoietin is also produced by liver. But as the age advances, now the main secretion will be by kidney, that is by juxtaglomerular apparatus. The production is stimulated by oxygen, that is hypoxia. So any condition which results in chronic hypoxia will stimulate the kidney to produce erythropoietin. This circulating erythropoietin will bind with the receptor which are present on erythrocytes, progenitor cells, and they will in turn mature into RBC, and that is how it is going to act. So they will combine with erythroid progenitor cells and then stimulates erythropoiesis. Approximately 90% of the erythropoietin is synthesized by kidney. Remaining small quantity is produced by liver. Liver plays a very important role in production of erythropoietin during fetal period, but in adult, liver no longer produces erythropoietin and main production will be by kidney. We have already told you the action that there are receptors which are present on the red blood cell precursors. It combines at that level and it will reduce apoptosis of these cells and the cell will get matured completely to erythrocytes. So it will stimulate erythropoiesis. So function of that stimulates the RBC production. So erythropoietin is an essential hormone for RBC production. Without it, erythropoiesis does not take place and person will develop decreased RBC, we call anemia. Even there will be decreased production of WBC, we call as a leukopenia, and also the production of platelets will be also reduced and that will produce pancytopenia. This is how the maturation takes place and that will not take place if there is no erythropoietin. So erythropoietin will combine and it will give rise to formation of RBC, maturation to RBC stage. And this is how the erythropoietin will be acting at the stem cell level and will give rise to maturation, full maturation. Also, it will stimulate the maturation of what we call as a WBC cells as well as platelets. Erythropoiesis is maturation of RBC while hematopoiesis is maturation of all RBC, WBC and platelet. There is a word called thrombopoietin which stimulates mainly megakaryocytes. So stem cells will be converted into committed stem cells that will be converted into proerythroblast, intermediate, early, intermediate and late normoblast, finally converted into reticulocytes and then after maturation, full maturation, erythrocytes. This is a development. So on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, you get reticulocytes formation and then maturation. So minimum from the stimulus to the maturation, it will be minimum 7 days. So it will start after 7 days only. In adult, the site is bone marrow, particularly flat bones. In children, flat and long bones. Before birth, liver, spleen and lymph nodes. And in fetal, yolk sac. So this plasma erythropoietin will stimulate the marrow and you will get a maturation and you will get RBC, fully matured RBC in blood. Also erythropoietin has got other action, like it can produce vasoconstriction and that will produce hypertension. It also stimulates angiogenesis, so new blood vessel formation. It induces proliferation of smooth muscle fibers, so increases the muscle mass and strengthen the muscle. It increases iron absorption. It improves memory and it may also has got good effect on a mood. And this is misused by an athletes. So it has got additional effect on endothelium, on a heart, on muscle fibers, fat cells, brain, etc. So some of these are beneficial and some of them are misused, particularly muscle regeneration, that is misused by an athletes, and because of excessive dose of erythropoietin if given from outside can give rise to toxicity to heart and also to vascular endothelium. So this should be kept in mind. So in an end stage renal failure, because of lack of erythropoietin production, the person will end up with anemia, which does not respond to replacement of nutritional supplements. You have to give erythropoietin from outside, and that is mainly in the form of a recombinant erythropoietin. There are some side effects of giving an erythropoietin. The common side effects, which are not major, like fever, chills, body ache, flu-like symptoms, but may also produce unusual bleeding from nasal cavity, oral cavity, and in female from vagina, and in both from rectum. You can have purplish spot under your skins. Person can also develop seizures. This can be dangerous one. And you can have a shoot up of blood pressure, which can produce severe headache, blurred vision, tinnitus, anxiety, confusion, sometimes even chest pain, ischemic chest pain, dyspnea, tachycardia, and even seizures. Some complications which are not very serious enough, like stomach pain, mild cough, little screen rash, redness, bruising, swelling, little oozing, etc. at the site of IV needle. These are less side effects. There can be drug interaction with some of the what we call as interferons, or may have interaction with some other drugs also, like lenalidomide, prolimidide, or pomalidomide. So these are some of the drugs where it can interfere. Main stimulus for erythropoietin secretion is hypoxia, and as soon as the hypoxia is present and it is for a chronic period, It will stimulate kidney, erythropoietin will be increased, it will stimulate the bone marrow, RBC production will increase, and you will have increased blood oxygen. Now, as soon as the oxygen concentration comes to normal, the stimulus to the kidney for excess production of erythropoietin will stop. So, hypoxia will stimulate, that will send an input to the liver and kidney, will increase the production of erythropoietin. So, even there is a little production of erythropoietin from liver. So, hypoxia stimulates kidney, erythropoietin, plasma erythropoietin, stimulates erythrocyte production and full maturation. So, that is how the erythropoietin, and that will take about 7 days. So, hypoxia can stimulate erythropoietin production. This is one picture which is shown that usually you develop an hypoxia particularly while traveling at a high altitude. So, erythropoietin stimulating, these are all the stimulus which will produce hypoxia, like low blood volume, severe anemia, poor blood flow, chronic pulmonary disease, particularly COPD, emphysema, bronchial asthma, all that we can have a severe hypoxia, high altitude. So, erythropoietin production is increased by hypoxia, which can be because of anemia, blood loss, high altitude, COPD, interstitial pulmonary fibrosis, primary pulmonary hypertension, cor pulmonale, in a heart failure, particularly chronic congestive heart failure, congenital cyanotic heart disease, Eisenmenger, etc. These are all the conditions where you will have a severe hypoxia and will be for a longer period. And all this condition can give rise to what we call as secondary polycythemia, because there will be increased RBC, constant RBC production will increase. There are other factors also which can induce erythropoietin production can increase, like growth factor. Maturation of the stem cells will be there by interleukins, erythropoietin and granulocyte stimulating factors. So these factors are necessary for production of those cells. Erythrocyte average lifespan is 120 days. So after 120 days it is broken down, but there is a constant production by a bone marrow, and that particular bone marrow will have normal erythrocyte production, because there is a normal production of a erythropoietin, and that particular is being maintained. And whenever there is an hypoxia, there is increased production of erythropoietin. So erythropoietin production will go down mainly in case of a person who has got severe kidney damage, or we call chronic kidney disorder, CKD. In that, erythropoietin production will go down, and erythropoietin production will be also affected, particularly in a person like polycythemia rubra vera, where EPO production will be reduced from kidney. This is normal hemoglobin breakdown. We are not interested in that part. Now, a person will require erythropoietin recombinant from outside, particularly in a person who has got anemia with CKD, or person who has undergone renal transplant. Anemia because of HIV also will require that. Recombinant EPO will prevent apoptosis. It will also stimulate the regeneration of the tissue, injured tissue. So that is another additional use of this for a healing purpose. It is also utilized in a trauma patient along with corticosteroid, progesterone, sex steroid hormones. You can utilize all these three things for hormone therapy in a traumatic patient. So these are the additional use of erythropoietin with glucocorticoids and we call anabolic steroids. Absolutely contraindicated if the person is having allergy to EPO. If a person has got uncontrolled hypertension, EPO is absolutely contraindicated. Aplastic anemia and myelofibrosis cannot generate RBC because there is a destruction of a bone marrow. So by giving an external supplement of erythropoietin cannot have erythropoiesis because there is no marrow cells, there are no stem cells or there are markedly reduced stem cells, hence it is not effective. Also in a person who has got a pure red cell aplasia, because there is no red cell precursor, by giving erythropoietin it will not generate erythropoiesis and you will not have a mature RBC production. There are a lot of commercial brands which are being available, but this particular brand, there are use and misuse. It is abused mainly by athletes and that is utilized for doping substances. Stimulator for production, we already told you that hypoxia is a powerful stimulant, also by androgens and catecholamines. Complications are mainly because of the other additional effects. One of the major is allergic reaction. It can produce anaphylaxis, hypertensive complications, red cell aplasia, etc. So this is in short regarding erythropoietin. I hope it will be helpful to you.